Okay, are we ready? Let's begin our discussion for Chapter 2, Educated. Wendy would like to start.
My question is like, oh yeah, why did the mother still help when along births, even though she doesn't want to be a midwife?
Okay, that's a good question.
Well, I remember in one of the pages, I'm not sure like where, but like, wait, let me just find it. But like somewhere in the middle, it says that like, it actually did say that like, she didn't want to. But the dad told her to practice midwifery so that when's the end of like, when like, so that they can like become like self-sufficient, I guess. Cause like, wait.
Yeah, but that's just gonna be like
It's
unstable family.
and if she
The
learns
dad-
a midwife.
The dad wants the mother to do something.
One by one.
It like,
The dad wants the mother
Yeah.
to do something, but the mother didn't want to, so then I think it's gonna be unstable.
Like her dad says that you need to deliver a baby on your own, but I don't see how being a midwife, because if you're giving birth to the baby, you can't.
It's for the
Okay.
grandchildren.
Okay.
He meant help someone else to,
Oh, okay.
to
And then she said that she kept on being a midwife because like there were a lot of people who were begging mothers to deliver their babies because there was no other midwife or somebody who had like even the experience, and like they had to get their child born. And dad was also like persuading, so then mother gave away, as it says on page 4, paragraph 6.
it also says on page 3, paragraph 3, mother didn't want to be a midwife. Midwifery had been dad's idea. One of his schemes was self-reliance. And that was for when they will be completely like dependent, basically like off of like reliance on the government, and they'll just be like they'll have their own like water and electricity supply, and like they'll just like have their own lives. And it also says on the last line of that paragraph, mother would, and if she learned to midwife, she would be able to deliver the grandchildren when they came along. So it was mainly it was the dad's idea.
Couple
It's
years
also
ago.
$500 once.
Per delivery.
But I
And then became rich.
I don't think she knew that
Doesn't
before like she actually started doing it.
for like $500.
It was like dad's idea. It's always the dad's idea.
Okay, so are they taking money now from the government? Are they taking governmental aid?
Not really.
So,
Not really.
bigger than dad.
It's from other people though. The most they have right now is probably just the telephone. And yeah.
The birth certificate.
Yeah, and the birth certificates.
Look at page. Sorry. I think there's a place that mentioned about governmental aid.
Wait, which page?
Do you remember what page? I think it's page 5.
That was page 3 where they were talking about like.
Oh yeah, she also bought an oxygen tank.
And also like she
took classes.
I think it's paragraph 2. Mother charged about $500 for a delivery, and this was another way midwifing changed her. Suddenly, she had money. Can someone carry on reading? Coco? 5.
Page 5, paragraph 2.
Dad didn't believe that women should work, but I suppose he thought it was all right for mother to be paid for midwifing, because it undermined the government. Also, we needed the money. Dad worked harder than any man I knew, but scraping and building barns and hay sheds didn't bring in much. and it helped that mother could buy groceries with the envelopes of small bills she kept in her purse. Sometimes if we spent the whole day flying about the valley, delivering herbs and doing parental exams, mother would use the money to take me and Audrey out to eat. Grandma over in town had given me a journal, pink with a caramel colored teddy bear on the cover. And in it, I recorded the first time mother took us to a restaurant, which I described as real fancy with menus and everything. According to the entry, my meal came to $3.30.
Okay. So how does this paragraph tell us about the financial situation of their family? Before and after.
Before like mother started doing being like a midwife, it was only the dad who worked, and what he did was just like scraping and building barns and hay sheds, and apparently that didn't bring in much money.
Mm-hmm.
But then since like mother's job as a midwife like brings like around like $500 for each delivery, that basically just helped. It probably like went over dad's income, and I guess like it was like a sudden like growth in their like financial status.
Do you have?
Like,
Go ahead.
like before they were completely dependent on like dad's financial income, and then like now I know a lot of dad's financial stress has been shifted, because like if all you do is just like scraping and building barns and hay sheds, it didn't bring much. Basically what Claire said, so then it's a big improvement for their financials, and then they could afford like other things, and for example going to the fancy restaurant that Tara described as fancy.
Do you have a concept of how much $500 can do in the U.S.?
It's like around
It's like
3,500.
Why?
Yeah.
You times 7?
Wait, but this is before. This is like in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
19. Is that higher or lower?
Higher.
It would be.
It would be even.
You can buy
When is that?
You can buy more with the same amount of money in like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So money
Yeah.
money is always worth more in the past than
So
now.
we can just say around like 4,000 to 5,000 RMB.
Yeah.
But you can't just convert it like that, because how much is
A meal
used
is
car in the
three-
U.S.?
A meal is like around $3.
A used car.
A used car.
Yeah.
Like secondhand.
From games that I play, it's usually just a few
How
hundred,
would you know?
or around 1,000. Like,
Yeah.
if it's used.
Yes. So automobiles and TVs and
Telephone.
big appliances are cheaper in the U.S. Okay. But still, I think $500 is a lot. You can do a lot with 500, especially they live in the countryside.
Even
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Now you can still get it pretty much, I guess.
And she made like dozens of like
So, yeah.
dozens
How-
of dozens.
How much do you think mother makes per
A
month?
lot.
A lot.
Like 2,000.
I think she makes like a dozen a month around.
Yeah, like
dozen.
dozens of food.
Dozens of dozens or just dozens?
But
It was
remember,
over 2 seasons that she made dozens of.
yes, I think they mentioned autumn and
Yeah.
spring, right?
Yeah, so
2
it-
seasons, it's 6 months.
Like by the leaves started to fall, she helped with a dozen births. By the end of winter, several dozens.
Yeah, so like around like a month or two.
Do the math. Who is good at math?
Jessie.
Coco.
Several dozens. Let's just say 40 times. Okay, 40 times over 6 months.
You do 40 times over 6 months. And what?
So how much per month?
How much per month?
Wait, how much what per month?
500.
Money.
Oh.
Like
Salary.
6.6.
So 6
Can you-
times 500, so about $3,000 per month.
Oh, 6.5.
That's rich, right?
Can you 0.5 a birth?
That's so.
0.5 it.
It's like the head comes out.
Oh my god.
No, that's like
No, and then it's like
she has
being
to.
chen, and then it's
Focus, that's an average. Okay? All right, so remember this is in the countryside in the past. So suddenly she's making a lot of money, right? And I think this chapter talks a lot
Oh,
about
it's actually 6.6.
Midwife.
mother's change,
Yeah.
right? So in the beginning, how would you characterize mother? What are the
mentions-
descriptions?
I remember her
She
comparing.
would apologize whenever she didn't wear makeup.
Yeah, like Tara would often compare her mother with the midwife that came, and then she would describe her mother as rose petal skin and basically just very beautiful and kind of 文静, like.
Okay.
Yeah, but then like, and then she also talks about yeah, and then when she talks about the other midwife, she doesn't really use negative, but it's clearly not as positive as the way she describes her.
Find the verbs, find the adjectives that describe her voice in comparison to wait, what's the name of the other midwife? Judy. And her daughter?
Maria.
Maria. Okay. What's the characteristic of Judy's voice and what's her mother's?
Wait, is Judy the midwife at
I don't know.
No, the midwife. Or is it like two different people?
No, Maria's Judy's not. Here it says that like on the fourth paragraph of page 1, like it kind of said like the midwife intimidated mother, and I guess that just kind of also kind of like describes her, like how mother thinks she is, which is
Yeah, good. So in paragraph 4, it says, mother laughed. The pitch was high, nervous, right? Did she say what the midwife sounded like? I think it's paragraph 6, still on page 1. Her voice thick with authority.
Yeah,
Right?
the word.
Her features were heavy. Her voice thick with authority, right?
Longest hair.
How does that comparison tell us about mother's initial personality?
This is this, I think. This is the other midwife.
You use the microphone.
I think this is like the other midwife, I think.
You mean the one with thicker voice?
Marisa.
what?
The mother of Marisa, I think.
Maria.
Maria.
Yeah, Judy. That's Judy, I think.
Oh.
Oh wait, so the midwife at the beginning is Judy?
What?
The midwife at the beginning is Judy?
Yeah, I think, yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
Wait, but then like towards the end, she talks about how her mother changed,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a link back to Judy at the beginning, because like at the front she says that like Judy never hadn't given a thought to her appearance in a decade, and then she also said voice thick with authority, and then if you flip to the back, mother, she stopped wearing makeup and stopped apologizing for not wearing it.
Mhm.
And then she was the one in charge.
Mhm.
So then she also mentions, I detected in her something of Judy's heavy presence. So you can see her mother, like, the more time she spends as a midwife, the more similar she is
Mhm.
going to Judy, kind of.
That's very good observation, but I think we're moving a little bit too fast. Let's just go back to Wendy's finding that mother in the beginning would apologize for not wearing makeup. What do you think about that?
She cares a lot about her appearance.
Do your mothers wear makeup?
Yes.
Sometimes.
A little bit.
Do
It's like
they
she's not-
apologize when they not?
No.
Because they always wear makeup.
And my mom
It's like my mom will just like drop me off a place. She's not even going out the car. Nobody's gonna see her except for me.
And she's
And
like,
she's like, wait, let me put makeup on. I don't care if you're late.
just like aimless and just like putting things on, and I see no difference.
Sarah doesn't really do makeup, but she sometimes does. And then when she does, it's probably for like a wedding or a 拍照, for
How many
example.
weddings do you go to?
How many weddings do you go to?
I don't know. My mom like puts on really like light makeup. It's like just that thinly and it's like not very obvious. And she sometimes only like puts makeup when she's like going out to like 逛街 or like going out to eat.
My mom wears makeup and asks me what I think about
My
it.
mom wear those like makeup where they like help your skin like be more, you know, healthier. I think.
Would your moms apologize if you?
No.
No.
Right. Okay. So why do you think
That'd be weird.
Why do you think mom apologized to her children? Like Tara was 9 years old, right?
I'm sorry.
Maybe even younger. Can you understand how mother
No, I'm
Thanks.
cultured.
Same.
I do have a few ideas, but I feel like they're not really suited.
Okay.
Go on.
say?
Go on.
say
One
your
of them,
ideas.
like I don't really think they're for this situation, but like different random like thoughts that I have is like maybe she's self-conscious and that she doesn't really have self-esteem and she like, well, it's not just to her children, it's to like she's saying that like she'd apologize like as if she inconvenienced everyone. So I feel like she's just kind of self-conscious about her appearance and maybe she just doesn't. She's just not like confident enough to like go out 素颜. That's what I think.
Very good point. You have all finished Lori's. Maybe you should talk to someone. So you now should know a thing or two about people's psychology. Why do people apologize? Why do people apologize to others?
Because they
make themselves feel better.
Imagine if you didn't wash your hair for 5 days.
I wouldn't.
It's a math. And now you come into class. Would you apologize to your peers?
No.
Yeah.
Unless they ask me like, why is your hair so smelly? I'll be like, I'm sorry, I don't
If,
want.
if it's really smelly and you can smell it yourself.
Oh my
And
god.
now
I
you,
wouldn't go in.
I wouldn't go to. I wouldn't go.
I would have washed my
Yeah.
hair like the day after, like the day before.
but now you must come into the class. Would you apologize before you
You
sit
will
down?
go and I would go.
It's a fake scenario.
What
Just
class is it?
our class.
This
Yes.
class.
I'll just say I'm really sick and I have a giant
You
headache,
threw up on yourself.
and that's
And
that's I threw up on my hair.
That's not an option. You must come in here. Would you apologize to your peers before you sit down?
No, because we're all girls and we know what she's going through.
Okay.
We're all girls.
All right. Imagine it's me, and now I apologize. Why would I do that?
Because you're.
Because it's
smell.
It's like it's awkward if they ask you about it, so you just say it
Say it
first.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Think-
I don't need you to address it. I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Think deeper. When you apologize,
I didn't think-
what are you afraid of?
You're afraid of that they think you're weird for not washing your hair for 5 days.
Like you don't want to be held accountable
You
for
don't-
whatever you just did that you're
You want your
apologizing for.
dignity to just go from like 100 to 0.
I think in Lori's is that when you apologize, you actually make yourself feel better.
Oh yeah.
When you apologize, you feel as if you're not held accounted for what you're apologizing for.
Yeah, she did say that.
Like I apologize.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, I've said my bit. I'm fine now.
Yeah, that's why read Lori book equals we all become psychologists.
Welcome to therapy.
Girls, let's come back. So, if you didn't apologize, would everybody just hate you?
No, but they would stare at your hair weirdly.
Depends who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all friends. Imagine you are just with strangers or
And the awkward thing is like
So
you
bad
apologize and they say, "Wait, what? You have smelly hair? I don't know that." And then you just like apologize.
It's like a gamble, whether they know or
can
not.
you just follow through a fake scenario?
It's a gamble.
Because like, what if you
All right, all right.
apologize and you tell them
Okay,
accidentally
okay.
that you didn't wash your hair?
To save time, I will just make my point. People apologize when they are afraid that people would
Judge.
judge or hate them or
Bother. Have some kind of negative
Bother
attitude
them.
towards them.
yes.
But why did mom
covered.
like apologize to her child?
Claire just mentioned this tells us that she had
Self-conscious.
very low self-esteem, right? She's
Weird.
not confident.
Why would you? why are you scared if your parents are gonna hate, if your children are gonna hate you? I mean,
Think of Rita.
Oh.
Do you think
different.
do you think that her apologizing to her children is conscious or unconscious?
Self-unconscious.
I think it's unconscious. Like she knows that she's saying it, but like it doesn't occur to her
Yeah.
as like.
She doesn't think as deeply as we think, like when she's saying it.
So what if we're all thinking too much?
I think it's more unconscious,
Yeah.
right? Because she is apologizing to her own children.
Yeah, and she's kind of
9-year-olds.
apologizing to make herself feel better, like
Yeah,
as
maybe.
we mentioned before.
Am I the only person who's like, if I need to apologize for something, I'll run the scenario like 100 times in my head
Yeah.
first, and then like say, wait, should I say this or that, or that?
And then
It's like
and then
hello,
if they
hey.
say,
We're
if
just
they
moderate.
say if they reply something, then you say something,
Yeah.
and then they reply something
And then
that's
you
not in
blow
any
it
of the
up
options.
completely.
Yeah, and then they say something that's not in your options.
yeah, it's just like you like plan this and
Gross. Let's come back. All right. So, mothers start to. What's the first change? First description about mom's change.
Where is it or what is it?
Yeah. Where and what?
Midwifing changed my mother.
What page?
Page 5, paragraph 1.
It's right there.
Midwifing changed my mother.
Is that the first change?
isn't it paragraph 2?
No, that's
Wait, oh wait, no, wait.
Wait, is it?
What is it?
I put it as one. I put it as one.
I put the midwifing changed my mother as 1.
Yeah, me too.
So, just say how many factors led to her change. She became more confident, right? What's
Because she
the, how
doesn't
many?
have time to put on makeup.
No, I feel like it's because
She has a job now.
yeah, and
Did,
she has
wait,
like
Winnie makes a interesting point. Did she have time?
No.
Did she make that choice to not wear makeup, or she didn't have time?
She didn't have time.
She did have time, but she didn't apologize for it anymore.
So like she
No,
also
because
doesn't
she
mind
thinks
not
it's
wearing
normal
makeup
now.
either.
But for one scenario in like the chapter, I remember they were just silently waiting for the phone call. So technically they did have time, and I feel like it's just mother like, I'm just like letting it all out, and just like letting go of makeup because like technically you won't see a midwife like deliver your baby with like a full face of makeup like they're going to the party, because like
she just like
Good point.
stopped makeup. One, because she didn't have enough time, and I feel like she accepted the identity of her being a midwife.
Mhm.
So, and yeah, basically Claire's point, which midwife goes to give birth full of makeup?
Help give birth.
Help give birth.
You all sounded like you have seen the real midwife.
No, but
still,
we can imagine.
I've seen a TV series that I didn't know I was pregnant.
What?
It was a TV series. It's like a 真实改编, and like every episode is just like somebody who didn't know they were pregnant and suddenly just like give birth in some random place, and then like there's always like
How did they not know?
there was one who gave birth through sweatpants.
What?
But how can that person not tell?
How can they not know?
Maybe they ate too much McDonald's. You never know.
And you go like that.
Well, it wasn't like their stomach wasn't big. Like a lot of them, like it was just like it just looked like they were like a few months old. Like the thing.
Oh,
they didn't know. Month old,
And
but
they
still,
didn't.
like really.
Girls.
Like,
Girls.
so off topic.
This is the third time I have to pull you back.
Wait, you asked me where I saw.
Okay.
Wait, I have something to ask
Yeah.
about this point of how mother changed. Like now, she has
all of this knowledge about like medical knowledge, so she's a lot more confident. And like before, she just put herself as an assistant because she wasn't confident enough. Now she's confident, so then yeah, she changed. Self-esteem, okay, no more makeup. I'm fine without makeup. I don't need to apologize. And then oh wait, I also have money now. Oh, 人生开挂. But yeah.
Was that a question
Yeah.
or just an observation?
both.
What? Where's the
So what's the question?
Do you
think she 人生开挂.
What?
Like,
Hats.
But Jenny did make a good input that her because mother's medical knowledge increased, that contributed to her higher confidence, right?
Yeah.
And I think another factor is money. She makes $500 per delivery, right?
Which
the
is like probably
motivation.
a lot more than.
Yeah.
That's the
Because
motivation.
how much can you make from building barns and hay sheds?
About
Not much.
50, 100.
And are there any other factors that contributed to her higher self-esteem?
Maybe because since I think, I'm not sure, but I remember like her first one or something, like she, like I remember one of them, she like succeeded, and that's what gave her the motivation to continue, like, oh, I can do this. And
Okay,
then,
so experience. Okay, what else? Money, experience, medical knowledge. What else?
She was
determined to learn. Determined
Okay.
to learn. Like, it says on the 5th page on like,
Why was she determined to learn?
I feel like she's may have been a bit influenced by her dad. Tara's dad.
like because she talks about being self-reliance.
And like basically why she's being a midwife is because Tara's dad wants them to be self-reliant and not rely on the government. So I feel like she's getting a bit like influenced by her father, and then she was determined to learn how to stitch the woman who tore, and basically more of the medical knowledge. That's kind of like adding a bit to medical knowledge, I guess. But
Okay.
and also adding on to like my point about like the experience, I think the experience also gave her confidence to continue to do this.
Yes, that's still experience. Like successful experiences, right? What else? I think there's one more.
Really? Tara following her?
What's the did her role change from the beginning to the end?
Assistant to midwife.
Assistant to what?
Midwife.
Teacher.
To the person in charge, right?
Yeah.
How does that change her behavior?
her having authority,
Yes.
like when you have the power to like, and you have the authority, you're supposed to like tell people what to do.
Yes.
And then yeah, that boosts confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she was an assistant, she followed orders from Judy, right? And now she tells what the mom should do, what the dad should do, what Tara should do, right? That all contributed to her change. And is that all? Think about her change like a journey. So from inconfident to confident. Is that all? Are there parts that she became unconfident, not confident again?
Didn't she fail once?
Yeah, she was her
And
own
it
self
was, like,
again,
in the
fragile.
hospital.
Yeah, let's focus on the risks of being a midwife in Idaho. What are the risks?
If something happens to the child, you're supposed to take blame.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
The child dies,
You're gonna find out.
and then you get arrested.
Mother dies like murdering.
Yeah, that's like manslaughter.
Do you understand how that works, the law?
Yeah, like she's unlicensed, so
Yeah.
she doesn't really have.
I don't think that's, it wasn't that
I don't think-
serious, because she didn't kill that
She didn't
baby
kill, but she
on
just
purpose.
failed
So I
to
think she
give.
would, then that's murder.
That's another story.
Yeah, but how does the law know that they
They
Witnesses?
gather evidence.
Yeah,
and they
witnesses,
ask
evidence.
What if
witnesses.
the, like, you never know.
Yes,
Imagine she like some weird scheme so that
Weird.
you watch too much TV series. But that's a possibility, yes. Okay, I think didn't you all notice that she hesitated after she became confident once?
Hesitated
Do
in
you
what?
remember? I don't know. Maybe she's afraid or
Driving thing.
I forgot.
also the what if.
Oh, the what ifs. She's what ifing to herself.
Page 8, that one.
Chanting what ifs to herself. I don't know.
I think it's page 8.
The art of shutting up. I love this line. This is going to be my life motto now.
Can someone read paragraph 6, page 8?
Mother fell into silence. I studied her as she drove. Her face was illuminated.
Yeah, this paragraph.
Her face was illuminated by the lights in the dashboard, and it appeared ghostly white set against the utter blackness of country roads. Fear was etched into her features.
Oh, stop for 1 second. She mentioned fear, and this is already page 8, during which point she should be confident now, right? So why was she afraid again, suddenly? What was happening here?
Like, because she had a child with her.
Use the microphone.
Because she had her child with her.
How does that make her...
Like, what if the feds found out that she was a midwife, and then
Good
her,
point. Yeah,
her
that's
child was also involved, and then they would both get killed, and then she's scared about this.
Okay, that's one possibility.
I feel like she's like more afraid of the risks because she kept like whispering to herself, like, what if something like that?
Yeah, someone go on. I heard soft whispers and realized they were coming from her.
Like when she says fragile and really and her old self, it's kind of like talking about the beginning when like why she hesitated to be a midwife was because of these risks. So I'm pretty sure it's like the risks of like something wrong happening. Yeah, what if something went wrong? What if there was a medical history that haven't told her about, some complication? And then, and the risk that she was taking, which Tara never understood.
Yeah, but, okay. All right. So do you think that mother was faking confidence before this?
No.
Like confidence can sometimes come and go.
Okay. Do you all agree?
Yes. I have personal experience. Oh no, I have to share it now, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I have failed in math, like basically the whole semester, and then I suddenly got like a few good scores and like a few like quizzes. What? Yeah, and I got a bit of confidence. Like it was like a chapter quiz, I think. And then I got a lot of confidence for the next chapter quiz, and then I failed that one. But then for the next chapter, it was okay again, and I gradually gained my confidence again.
And then it failed again.
Yes, I sort of, I just hope I don't fail the finals.
I'm sure you will excel in the finals.
I failed the midterm.
Oh, I actually failed, but then
Girls, this is the 4th time that I have to pull back. Wendy, can you read the first paragraph on page 9? We arrived and mother transformed.
We arrived and Mother transformed. She issues a string of commands to the father, to the mother, and to me. I almost forgot to do what she asked. I couldn't take my eyes off her. I realized now that night I was seeing her for first time, the secret strength of her.
Wait, this reminds me of something when like Maria was looking at Judy, like
Was
at the
what?
beginning, during
Maria was what, Judy?
Maria was looking at Judy, like
Oh, yeah, right.
yeah, and then basically the same thing that like Tara is doing now with her mother, and I think
There are a lot of parallels in...
her eyes never left her mother's face, and now, where is it? I can't find it, but
I couldn't take my eyes off her.
oh yeah, I couldn't
Yes.
take my eyes off her.
It's basically
Yeah, the same.
Very good observation. Very good. Do you think she's intentionally making this comparison or parallel? Yeah. Okay. So I think she is a really good writer when just overall. Especially when you read sentences like, we arrived and mother transformed. Short sentences, but you can see the picture, right? Have you imagined? Have you experienced this? Maybe you were about to go on stage to perform, and before you go on stage, you were very nervous, and then you go on stage, and suddenly you just
Forget about it.
you just were in your element or begin to perform.
I'm always conscious that I'm on the stage.
Or I
Once-
bleep
well,
out
only
and
like
forget
in
my
the
lines.
middle of the performance, I start like.
Yeah, you start freaking out. It's like
What?
I start because 因为我们是 like we
In
were
the
like
middle of the performance, I'm actually okay, and then at the end, I freak out again.
no, I
I
freak out in the
freak out.
middle because I don't know where I'm at. It's like we're like doing this performance, and then 就数着数着牌子就没了。You're like, where am I up to?
I freak out.
We have
You
to
do?
remember the
Yes,
music.
I do.
We have to remember the whole music.
No, 主要是我们 it's like we perform
English.
and then we perform and we have because we have like rest, it's like 20 bars, and then we're like 1, 2, and then when you're like 16, and then you're like
Are you talking about the symphony?
yes, and then you suddenly forget where you're up to, and you're like, oh no. So this is why
It's okay, you're not the
You will
melody.
get used to it.
How was
You're not the melody.
I was the melody.
Oh, something.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, this is the 5th time I have to pull you back.
I once in fourth grade. I
Is
almost
this
failed the dance
is this related to the book?
It was related to the question, yes.
Is it time?
Yes.
Oh, time flies.
Time
Really does when you go off topic.
All right, I hope you will,
flies.
girls, I hope you will slowly begin to enjoy this book more.
I like Lori.
We like it because we get to go off topic.
Class dismissed.
We like it because we can laugh about it. What? Laugh about it? Again?